Welcome back to Expresso here on SABC3, your feel-good breakfast show indeed. Now our literary guest this morning is one of South Africa's most beloved actresses, entertainers. She's been a DJ, she's been a model, she's been a singer, you name it. B Dolan has probably done it. And of course, she's here this morning to discuss her latest venture, which is her autobiography, A Appetite for Peas. And I'm very, very honored to be talking to her this morning because it's probably one of the best books that I've read in a very, very long time, and I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on it. Good morning, Casey. How are you?
Good morning. Well, just thrilled.
Ooh,
Absolutely
my goodness.
wonderful to be here with you.
Now, you have had such a long and illustrious career. You've been on a ton of magazines, and talking about magazines, you were also voted FHM's Sexiest Woman back in 2000. Now, I want to talk to you because this photo is very amazing. What was it like to be one of the most sought after beautiful women in the country and the world?
Well, to be dead honest with you, I'm not sure that I saw myself as that necessarily.
Yeah.
I think I saw it more as a publicity stunt. But it did change my career, and it did change the track that I was on.
Yeah.
So it had a profound effect on, where I went to from there.
Now, we like I mentioned before, you've done so many different things. You've had a really, really brilliant career, and you continue to do amazing things. Like, you've just come from a night-long shoot, and you don't look it at all. I said to Casey this morning, I was like, what?
This
no
makeup,
red eyes,
this makeup
no
is like, I think 15 hours old. I can't even think right now. But yes, it's. I've come off a film shoot called Confetti with Lo Fente and Nico Panaggio. Fantastic, though.
Wow. Well, we can't wait to see what you're busy doing with right now. But let us first talk about the book of the moment, An Appetite for Peas, and a title that I thought that was very, very interesting when I saw it. I was like, what does it mean? What does it mean? And we'll talk a little bit more about what it means in a moment. But for those who have not gotten their hands on a copy, do you want to give us just a very brief synopsis on what An Appetite for Peas is all about?
I think it's a relatable book that I aimed at women.
Yeah.
About the life of a young girl who has a dream, but has a lot of trials and tribulations in order to get that dream, finds the dream and may not be what you think it is. And it's also about forgiveness, letting go, and understanding yourself. And it's very relatable, I think, for most women. You read it.
Absolutely.
I think many, many women will have various parts of it, and it's also told extremely honestly.
Yeah, and that's what I want to touch on. Is I think a lot of us go through things in our lives. We experience, life is a journey. We experience so many different things along that journey. But one thing that I found incredibly interesting about you is that you are unsparingly honest. You spare no detail as to what you've endured in your life. I find it almost scary.
Without taking it too seriously at the same time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Why did you decide to start from that standpoint? Because I know when you write an autobiography, you're like, where does one start? Where does one begin? Yeah. Why did you decide that you needed to be this honest in the book?
Look, I'm a chronically honest person.
Yeah.
The spade and the shovel, and so I felt also that by acknowledging things about yourself, but really acknowledging them, truly facing yourself, by doing that, you somehow have an authenticity and can acknowledge and change things from a perspective. You can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Yes. Yes.
And the only way you can do that is by being brutally honest and dead honest, but without taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, have a terribly macabre book about, people going home and then, biting at their wrists.
Yes.
It's funny and it's also relatable in the light and the dark of it.
Absolutely. And I love the title, An Appetite for Peas, because when you read the book, you'll find that Casey actually has a massive dislike for peas. And then I looked at the title again and I'm like, but why would you say that? Where do you think the title, and what were you going for with the title of the book?
Well, I hope I don't think it. I hope I know it, because there it is. I decided on it because the whole book is basically a large journey about learning to swallow things that you don't necessarily enjoy. And I do hate peas. I mean, I'm sorry for all you pea lovers, but they're just mushy and, you know, and, you know, life often brings you things that you don't necessarily want to swallow.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And,
you do.
and I also, before we're going to be talking a little bit later about some of the really in-depth matters of the book, but one of the things that it says on the cover on fame, blame, and what's his name, and I was like, oh, juicy, we're going to get names in here. But what I love about you and how you've written the book is you haven't named people specifically, but you've given their characteristics.
Yes.
Basically,
a metaphor.
Yes. So you've come across people who you've called tainted in your life and trouble in your life. Why did you decide to do that as opposed to, you know, just naming people straight out?
You know, this wasn't a name and shame book. This was never supposed to be that. It's almost like my career is secondary to what the story is. My career has just been a part of what my life is, but it's more about the journey of a woman and a journey of a woman's relationships and the history of what I've been through and many women have been through. And so I basically didn't want the book to be about naming and shaming people. It's not about that. It was never to hurt anybody. It was always about me and what I went through. That's all.
And that's what I appreciate about you in the book. And I'm very, very happy to say that we are going to be giving 3 copies of B Dolan's An Appetite for Peas away this morning. All you have to do is SMS the word when, your name and city to 33728, and you could be walking away with any one of these 3 books. Sorry, the keyword is comp, that's COMP, and you could be walking away. We want to get into this book a little more. It has probably changed my perspective, not only on you and my appreciation and my respect for you as not only an artist, but as a woman as well. And I know that it's going to affect the lives of every single woman who reads this book as well. Kat, over to you.